The NCU Athletic Hall of Fame was established in 2007 to recognize individuals and teams that have bestowed great honor and pride to Northwest Christian University. Since that time, we have inducted 14 individuals and 4 teams. Today, as we induct 4 more individuals, it continues to allow us to introduce our past success to our current and future student athletes, coaches, and alumni. Today's inductees also include our first women student athletes, as Keith was pointing out and Bob was pointing out, as well as the first group of athletes that we as our current athletic administration actually got to watch play sports. The wall behind has such amazing accomplishment, but every year we'd sit down and we're going through stats that we didn't really know. We were going through notes that we didn't really know. And all these gentlemen had accomplished, and coaches, so much and so well deserving of our Hall of Fame. But this year when we sat down and we were able to point to Kasey and Cassie and Justin and Brooke and all of us that are here, we knew who we were talking about. And so that just made that so much more, I don't want to say enjoyable, but just so much more personal rewarding, because the work of having NCU athletics and having NCU go into the Cascade Conference and join the NAIA, if it wasn't for that movement, we're not sitting here today with these 4 individuals and the sports that they played. So it just really excites me professionally and personally for today's induction. So at this time, I would like to recognize today's inductees. Kasey Sconce-Cutsforth played on the NCU softball team for 4 years as a true pioneer, was a member of the first 3 seasons of the women's basketball program. She is easily regarded as as the best softball players in school history. As a sophomore, she earned team MVP honors as she led the Beacons to a 3rd-place finish at the USCAA National Championship, the highest finish ever for the Crusaders. Cutsforth holds NCU single-season records for doubles, while her 13-game hitting streak as a sophomore is the 2nd longest in school history. Cutsforth owns a place on the career top 10 list in 16 categories and still holds the record for the most career doubles with 32. She has the 2nd highest hits total and ranks 2nd all-time with 40 multiple hit games. On the basketball court, Kasey was a 3-time MVP and 3-time recipient of the Coaches Award. She ended her career with 500 points and 365 rebounds and ranked 6th all-time with 172 assists. Cutsforth also led the Beacons to a pair of appearances in the USCAA National Tournament, with the team taking 4th place in both 2006 and 2007. Cutsforth's influence reached far beyond the court or the field. She was a strong student, having been named a USCAA Academic All-American as a senior. In 2007, she was named the NCU Scholar Athlete of the Year, Female Athlete of the Year, and won the Sports Information Legacy Award. She is the only athlete to ever win all 3 of those awards in a single year. At this time, I would like to invite the 2017 NCU Athletic Hall of Fame inductee, Kasey Sconce-Cutsforth, and her presenter, Liz Turner-Bolton, to the podium, please.
Thank you so much for allowing me to be here today. When Kasey called me to let me know that she had been inducted into the Hall of Fame this year, she was so excited, a little surprised, and really pretty shocked. I, of course, somewhat knew and hoped and assumed that this day would come for her, and I'm very grateful to be a part of this day to celebrate with her, and to really have one more opportunity to share Kasey's journey here at NCU, and more importantly, her impact on the school. I don't think Kasey even knows this. I first came in contact with Kasey her junior year in high school, and at that time, neither of us had NCU in our sights at all. We were, and still are, from small, rival, neighboring, small-town communities. And as I watched her play basketball against the high school team where I was actually working at the time, about midway through the first half, I turned to my husband and I said, "That is one special player." And he nodded and said what I was thinking. She does all the intangibles. She's their glue kid. And we sort of sat there and sadly watched her dismantle our home team in the second half. However, we were sort of in awe, and we both were struck by her poise and maturity, and her ability to make the right plays at the right time. But more importantly, she lifted her teammates up and encouraged them to give their very best. So we're going to fast forward 2 years from that point in time, where, to my surprise, we both were at the first open gym for the new program for NCC women's basketball. Lucky for me, we were both on the same side this time. NCC had just started a women's basketball program, and Coach Slip hired me, and we were hired as a staff, and we were a little late in the recruiting process, and Kasey was already on campus as a softball player, and she was at our open gym. And obviously, I'm very excited by that, and she had to remind me I'm a softball player first. So Tim, I don't know if you had anything to do with that, but softball player first, basketball player second. We got it, okay? So I went home that evening, and my husband said, "How was the first day of practice?" And I said, "It was absolutely amazing." And you'll never guess, that Elmira kid showed up, right? We remembered. So, you know, he's a wise guy, and he told me, "I think your coaching career just got a little easier," and he was right again. And working with Kasey over the next 4 years was really pretty amazing. So one of the perks to working at this amazing institution is the high character student athletes that we come in contact with on a daily basis. And Sconce really possesses a few of those very consistent characteristics that I believe set her apart from many of the teammates that she played with. Kasey's personal strengths include grit, competitiveness, integrity, and a willingness to do whatever the team needed. In my mind, I think that her playing career on both teams was defined by her selflessness. I think it takes an incredibly disciplined athlete to play two college sports. She competed in 8 different teams with, I don't know, Case, maybe 8 or 9 different coaching staffs that she had to sort of negotiate and please. And I'm just asking you, how many of you know, how many of you can even fathom, you know, being on 8 different teams and positively affecting each and every teammate in the way that Kasey did? And, you know, she did what she always knew how to do, and she gave of herself, her time, and her talent. And in her time here at NCU, I felt that she was the ultimate team leader, and she always did so with grace and humility. I would love to list Kasey's strengths as a basketball player and share all that she meant to our program. And frankly, you know, in a program just starting out, she was so integral in so many ways that it's really hard for me to quantify her importance to us. Her many awards and accolades that you heard from Corey speak for themselves, although I really fully believe that they do not tell her story. Her teammates do. Each of her basketball teammates that I contacted over the past couple of weeks wanted to contribute and celebrate with you here today. Their words speak of a lasting legacy. Each of your teammates wanted you to know how proud they are of your accomplishments, and they asked me to share these thoughts about you today. Inspiring, determined, loving, giving, energetic, ever enthusiastic, reliable, leader, tenacious, humble, encouraging, scholarly, ambassador, captain, and selflessness. I can say with certainty that she has touched a lot of our lives here on campus. She has impacted my life beyond measure. She has set the standard, really the bar for me. For the 12 years that I was here, she set the standard for every single athlete that I ever recruited after her. She brings the same passion, determination, integrity and kindness to her job as an elementary school teacher, as a wife, and as a mother. More importantly, she does what she always has. She brings out the best in others. Congratulations.
Wow, thank you, Liz. Thank you so much, everybody. It's truly an honor and a blessing to be here today. But I want to start with telling you how I learned about this. I got a message from Nick, and it was just one of those typicals, hey, give me a call when you get a chance. And I thought, uh-oh, something happened to Julie, and they need a new coach. And as much as I want that in my future, the timing is not right. I got little ones at home, and I thought, okay, I just won't call back. Yep, I didn't call back. And about a week later, he called me again. Same message. And I was like, oh, okay. Got up the nerve to call him back. And as I'm thinking, he's talking, and we're going through the small talk, and I'm just like, oh, okay, how am I going to tell him no? I'm just not ready, but I want to so bad. He finally broke the news to me, and I was speechless. I was holding back the tears, and I was able to keep it through until I got off the phone. And by this time, my son comes over because, and I told him what happened and that I got an award. And he goes, Mom, you played sports? And I said, uh-oh, I guess I need to step up my bedtime stories. So thank you. But all funny aside, I am honored and blessed and humbled to receive this award. I was at a conference a few years back where the keynote speaker, who I don't recall his name, gave us a quiz, and it was something kind of like this. He said, name the last 5 MVP players for baseball. How about football? How about the last 5 Super Bowl winners? And he kept going on and giving examples, and I could give a few, but not very many. And then he went on to say, name 5 people that touched you today. Name 5 people that inspired you. Name 5 people that made you the person you are today. Well, those people are in the room today. These people touched my life in so many ways, and NCU has done that. So he went on to say, the first quiz is the best of the best, but it's hard to remember. But the people on the second one are the people that made your life. And they are here today, and I want to thank a few of them. First, my parents, who went to every single game of mine in the state, couldn't be here today. They're following their MVP, or following the Major League Baseball to every stadium now that we're not playing. But their support and dedication, my sisters, with our slight competitiveness, pushed me to be the best that I could. My husband, we've been together 14 years, for his unconditional love and support. He was there for me for a never-winning season to the championships. He picked me up from the bus at 3 a.m. in the morning and cleaned dirt from my sliding wounds, and everything in between. And Liz, words cannot describe what you mean to me. You are truly a blessing and an inspiration. You taught me so many things both on and off the court. You taught me how to handle from rebounding hard times and setbacks. You taught me to be the leader that I am and be the best in the toughest times. You also taught me I don't have to have meat and potatoes at every meal. So, Liz, thank you for always being there and teaching me all my life lessons. Tim, you taught me how to ride the waves, literally, and to go with it. I used to be so nervous when I'd get up to bat I'd have no nails left, and you taught me to let my talent lead the way and to have patience. And Charlie, who's not here today, I came to Charlie one time after a tough loss. We were sitting down there, and I didn't score a single point, and I felt like I let my team down. And he says, Kasey, not everybody can be a high scorer. And that's kind of what I needed. And he helped me to see, I was something different. He goes, you stick to defense. And that I can handle. Coach Shannon, my high school soccer coach, I will never forget this. He says, practice doesn't make perfect. Perfect practice makes perfect. And I carried that with me. He also taught me to use the butterflies, or as you call it, the juice. And let me tell you, I have the juice today. He says, whatever you get that, it means it's you have the juice in everything that you do because it's what you care about. And this definitely I care about. So, and Nick, I will always remember our little pep talks between innings and at halftime and games. It's just so inspiring that you were just that quick little happy give me that positive energy that I needed oftentimes. So thank you. And in closing, I just want to thank NCU and everyone who made this possible. These were some of the best 4 years of my life, and I will cherish them and honor them forever. And I leave you with this, and this was a quote that Liz said at one time, and I don't even know if you remember this. It says, she says, look in the mirror, that's your competition. Be better than you were yesterday. And I often look at this quote as motivation. Again, better myself, and I strive for that every single day on and off the court. Thank you. Thank you.
Brooke Stribling-Crow was a member of NCU's first 3 volleyball teams in 2006, 2007, and 2008 after transferring from Chemeketa Community College. During her career, the Hammer established numerous NCU records and held the career kills record for 5 years. To this day, she still is in the top 10 in 6 career categories and owns 3 of the top-tier single-season kill totals, her best coming in as a senior when she collected 304 kills. Crow is also 4th on the all-time kills list and 5th on career digs list. She is one of only 2 Beacons ever to collect over 800 kills and 700 digs in a career. Also among her accolades is a record for most kills in a 3-set match, as she collected 18 against Warner Pacific, a record which has stood since NCU's 4th ever collegiate match. Way to start with a bang. Collecting numerous awards during her career, Crow was named a USCAA All-American Honorable Mention during her sophomore campaign. She was also a 2-time All-Cascade Collegiate Conference Honorable Mention selection as a junior and a senior. Crow was the clear-cut team MVP during all 3 of her seasons and was also named NCU's Female Athlete of the Year following her senior season. As strong in the classroom as she was on the court, Crow was a 2-time academic all-conference selection and a 2-time NAIA Daktronics Scholar Athlete. She was named NCU's Female Scholar Athlete of the Year in 2008. At this time, I would like to invite NCU Athletic Hall of Fame inductee Brooke Stribling-Crow and her presenter Dale Wygant to the podium for today's 2nd induction.
I'll try to make it short. No, I'm not going to make it short. I first of all, Brooke Stribling. Oh my goodness, this is really fun for me because Brooke, it's been a long time since we were coach and player, but it was really, that was cool times. But before I start that, I want to thank all of the people that are in this room. There's so many incredible people that I haven't seen in a long time. This place is the most awesome place on the planet. I want to thank you for helping build this program, Bob. This is the way this all started. In 2003, I was a coach at Lane Community College, and they canceled our program. And I was really bummed out because I didn't want to go back to high school. So I got my resume ready, and David Lipp, sitting right there, is a wonderful guy. He was over here in the gym on that day, standing on that godforsaken big orange basketball that was in the middle of the gym. And I don't have a shot here because it's got an orange basketball in the middle. But I said, Dave, if you ever want to have a volleyball team, just give me a call. And he held on to that resume, and in 2004, they called me and said, would you like to start a volleyball program? I said, I'll be down this afternoon. So I came down, and I thought that was going to be really a fun thing, but what they told me was, look, you have no scholarship money. You got no any money, really. But if you could find a number of kids that are on NCU's campus to play volleyball, we could get this thing started. Well, I walked around campus, and I got to tell you something. And I begged Kasey. I begged her to set for me. And she said no. But so I worked at it hard, and I called a really close friend, Coach Sherry Pimentel, who is an awesome coach from Marist, and I said, Sherry, do you have any idea where I can get some kids to play? She goes, well, I don't know what Brooke Stribling's doing. You might ask see what Brooke's doing. I said, well, what does she do? She's an outside hitter. She'd do a really good job for you, but I don't know what she's doing. So I found out where Brooke was, and I went to a club practice, and she told me that, I said, this is my pitch. Well, we have no money, and I really can't, I don't know if the program's going to continue, but would you like to play? And she looked at me and goes, I'm going to Chemeketa. So that was that. But what happened after that is we had, I put together a team of 12 players. We were probably the most interesting group of volleyball players you have ever seen in your life. Anybody that went to those games, I'm sorry. It was fun. It was entertaining, but we were not very good. But the kids played well enough. It got the student body behind them, and the president awarded us, let us know at the end of the season that we would be a program the following year, and there would be some scholarship money. And I went out and recruited a whole number of kids that were really, not to say the other kids weren't good, but these kids could play. We had to replace the net after the first year because we were either hanging in it or banging the ball into it. So the next year I had a whole host of new players, and out of nowhere, God said, you know what, I'm going to give you a hitter. And I got an email from Brooke Stribling. And I went, wow, that's pretty cool. And so I went back to the girls that I had recruited, and they said, you've got Brooke Stribling? Really? Really? We could, wow, that would, I thought, well, was she a sister of Karsh Karai or what? I've never seen her play. But we brought Brooke in, and oh my goodness, we started practice, and the child can hit. She can really hit. And it was amazing because I'd set up a bunch of games knowing that what we'd been the year before with some teams we probably shouldn't have set ourselves up with, Monoma Bible and some others that were of our stature the year before, but now we had some players and we had Brooke Stribling. And that's where the hammer came in, because when there's no block up there and Brooke fires down on you, it's child abuse. I'm not kidding you. There were some times when she hit the ball, you could hear the sound of the poor girl that was over there when it hit her in the neck or in the chest. And my favorite part about Brooke was when that would happen, she'd go, and turn away, act like she really cared about the kid, but she was loving him. Brooke was one of the most incredible hitters and one of the incredible passers that I've ever coached. She's a strong leader. Brooke was on the court almost all the time, and honestly, just never gave up, and brought us to a point where we are a program. Brooke Stribling was the cornerstone for this program. Once we had that, we were a legitimate threat to the other teams in the league. We won some teams against some teams that were legitimate teams in the league, and they hated it, but it was cool. I can't thank Brooke enough for all of that. But I also want to mention, she was so bright. She knew how to manipulate her coach in 1,000 ways. We always went to the restaurant that Brooke liked. I don't know how it worked, really. She would get other people to bring it, but she started it. But the other thing that really came to mind with me, we went on these road trips on this beautiful bus that we have out here, and it has a place to put DVDs in. We watched about no less than 180 episodes of Grey's Anatomy over the period of 2 years. And I don't like those shows, but I, to this day, watch Grey's Anatomy because of Brooke Stribling. Anyway, she's an academic all-star. She's an athletic all-star. She's got a wonderful family. I'm so proud of Brooke and what she's done. There's nobody more worthy of her being in the Hall of Fame than Brooke Stribling.
I have a little friend with me here. This is my son, Lincoln. He's almost 2. Can you say hi? No. Okay, so, wow, what an incredible privilege to be here with all of you. Congratulations to the other 3 members of the
Hall of Fame class of 2017. A huge thank you to Northwest Christian University and the Hall of Fame committee. I never in my wildest dreams thought I would be standing up here accepting such an honor. I'd like to thank Hume Dog, Dale Wygant, for welcoming me today into the Hall of Fame. When I had the pleasure of becoming a student athlete here at Northwest Christian in 2006, the volleyball program was part of a new era of NCU athletics. Being newbies to the NAIA and Cascade Collegiate Conference, we were not the strongest team, but never did Dale and Michelle make us feel like the underdog. They both continuously believed in us, pushed us to be our best, made us laugh a lot, and we had a great time playing the sport we love. Thank you. Like Dale had said, I had spent my freshman year at a college in Salem, but however, it quickly became apparent that it was not the best fit for me and that I'd love to move back to Eugene in the Eugene area, and yet still play volleyball. I had contacted Dale in hopes of there being a spot on his 2006 roster, just a year after he had asked me to join the team, and I guess I should have listened to you then. Coming from Marist Catholic High School, I knew that attending a small university would be the best fit for me. NCU provided the big college feel, but with the small class sizes, fantastic academic programs, and professors that generally care for each and every one of their students. Then, of course, I can't forget the amazing athletic staff, Corey Anderson, Nick Askew, Jared Gibson, I didn't know you were going to be here, and everyone else that works endlessly behind the scenes. They put in countless hours, day in and day out, both in the office or attending matches. Alongside our parents and coaches, they were probably some of our biggest fans. This honor is a tribute to everyone that has helped me along my journey, including some pretty amazing mentors. My mentoring started with my parents, Kyle and Mary Stribling, or Papa. They have been my biggest fans from day one, whether it be school or athletics related. They were always there for me, encouraging and supporting me along the way. And rarely ever missing a volleyball match either. They sacrificed a lot of time and money, energy into both my academics and my athletics. You want to go to Papa? Thank you to my wonderful husband, Logan, who unfortunately due to work could not be here today, although he really wanted to. But during my time here at NCU, he encouraged me to be, where is Papa? Go to Papa. Oh, maybe. But during my time here at NCU, Logan encouraged me to do my best in classes, often taking time to help me study for big exams, and he always attended as many matches as he could. To my supportive grandparents, aunts, uncles, and cousins, thank you to all of my influential coaches that I've had the honor of playing for over the years, either at Marist Catholic High School, Webfoot Volleyball Club, or here at Northwest Christian University. A big, huge thank you to Sherry Pimentel, Don Barth, Ryan Mosier, DDA Himmelsut, Kathy Nelson, Dale Wygant, Michelle Kaw, and Mike Gaffney. A few of these amazing coaches could be here today, so thank you. And then I can't forget my wonderful teammates who soon became friends. I know that several of them wanted to be here today, but with us spread all over the place, including my dearest friend and teammate, Coach E. Howard, who's currently teaching in China, it has made it difficult to attend. I'm very lucky to be up here with, well, being honored with one of them as Kasey-Ahrens. And then I'll close with this. And in the end, it's not the years of your life that count, it's a life in your years by Abraham Lincoln. So thank you again, everyone, for bringing so much life to my years, especially during my time here at NCU.
A pioneering member of NCU's first 3 golf teams, Justin Ahrens came to NCU and established a high standard of excellence for future golfers to follow. Ahrens holds the school record for career winning percentage at 85.9% and is tied for the best career stroke average at 74.5%. For those of you that golf in the room, you know that's impossible. He won 6 tournaments in his career, which is second on NCU's all-time list. That number includes 3 tournaments, which he won during his first season. His favorite course seemed to be Riverbend Golf Course in Wilder, Idaho. That was the site of his first 2 Cascade Conference event medals, both at the College of Idaho Invitational. Ahrens owns 3 of the top 10 rounds in school history, including a pair of 68s, which ranks 3rd all time. In 2009, he set a 2-round tournament record with a 5 under par 139 at the Concordia Invitational. Ahrens was a 3-time All-Cascade Collegiate Conference selection and a 6-time Cascade Collegiate Conference Player of the Week, coinciding with each of his 6 tournament victories. He owned the team's low scoring average in all 3 of his seasons and was named the most inspirational golfer in 2010. He was named the NCU Male Athlete of the Year as a junior in 2009, and also after his senior campaign in 2010, he became the first male winner of the Sports Information Legacy Award. At this time, I would like to invite 2017 NCU Athletic Hall of Fame inductee Justin Ahrens and his presenter Tony Joyner to the podium for today's 3rd induction.
Thank you, and thanks to Justin too, man, I'll tell you. Being a college athlete myself at the University of Oregon, I knew that they were going to say all of the history and everything that's on your program, but in my speech I have them again, so you get to hear them again because I worked hard on this. But also the accomplishments that this young man has done is incredible, and I am amazingly proud of you. So thank you, and congratulations to this year's honorees into the NCU Hall of Fame. Well done and well deserved. I'm extremely honored that Justin asked me to speak on his behalf and induct him into the NCU Hall of Fame. When I became the director of golf and started the golf program in 2007 with Tommy Limbaugh, I inherited greatness. A true champion that was basically waiting in the wings for a golf program to develop where he could have his stage and show his amazing gift that the Lord blessed him with. In 2007, Justin again was a pioneer of a member of the NCU golf program. He did set the bar of NCU golf, and I knew that the program and Justin was destined for greatness. I'm so proud of Justin and love to watch him play and coach him for 3 years. God bless Justin with a natural golf talent and gift. He worked hard on his game and didn't take his natural ability for granted. He also carried himself with such amazing confidence. You have to have confidence in the game of golf, and this young man exuded that on a daily basis. He was confident in his stature when he hit the golf course, showing his confidence through his guts, his grit, determination, and concentration, along with a powerful and graceful golf swing that he had. Jack Nicklaus, I decided to take a quote from the best golfer in history, along with the best golfer in the history of NCU. And he describes it best: "The confidence is the most important single factor in this game. And no matter how great your natural talent, there is only one way to obtain and sustain it, and that's work." And Justin worked for his greatness. Example of his greatness, again, is he won 6 tournaments in his NCU career. And again, being a college golfer myself, it is very difficult to win college tournaments because of the skill level that he played against. It was very fun to be part of and to experience. He won 3 tournaments during his first year, right out of the gate. He holds the school record for winning percentage at 85.9, and also he's tied with another NCU great and now head coach, Tyler Falk, with a career stroke average of 74.5. Corey is correct. Having that scoring average in college golf when you're playing golf courses that we played, the yardages that we played, and taking into all the elements and some kind of cyclones that we played with weather. Spring was brutal. It was, yeah, and still being able to score well. Again, greatness. More great stats to come, but I wanted to share some more personal things about Justin, and that was from Brent McKee. He was also part of the pioneering team when the golf team started. Don't worry, Justin, the secrets are safe with me. Okay. From Brent, Justin was the best 80s singer wherever we went in the van. I actually remember singing with him in the van. Side note that I just remembered when I was sitting there listening is that sometimes we'd have those student rallies and things, and Justin would get out there and just hoop and holler and take his shirt off and just start going crazy and stuff. Yeah, you wouldn't tell by a nice, mild-mannered young man that he is. Yeah. Also from Brent is competing against each other and pushing each other through their own teammate competition. That is incredibly important as far as teammates go, because you need to prepare yourself for the competition that you're playing against the other teams. And when you have somebody as good as Brent that really kind of pushed Justin to his best, a lot of his success, again, is with Brent pushing him the way that he did. And most importantly, what Brent says is that Justin is very selfless. He's wanting the best for his team more than anything else. He always was wondering and wanting his team to do well. He'd play his best, of course, but his concern was with his team. So he was a great teammate and friend. Now, my words to describe Justin is competitive, first and foremost. What comes to mind is a one-to-one battle that he had with this kid from Concordia. Do you remember what that guy's name was? Yeah, easily to forget. You really don't want to even remember this kid. But just the competitive nature that he had. Justin is he's humble, but his drive and competitive spirit. He always, again, wanted to know how his golf team was doing. But there's one day that he said, "Coach, I want you to finish with me. The last 4 or 5 holes, I want you to stay with me." So we read greens together. We did yardage together, did course management, where he should hit the ball and that kind of thing. Just watching this kid playing at his best element and just led himself to victory. It was great to be part of and to experience. Passion. You can see it in his face once he hits the first tee. Now, you think golf is a gentleman's sport, right? Yeah. You should see the stare down that this kid has, right? I mean, just when he gets on the first tee, especially with the Concordia fella, just his eyes and his determination and how he stared people down was awesome. And it leads to determination, is that he has the "I will not be beat" mentality. And to be a good college golfer, you have to have that. That's coming right back to what Jack Nicklaus said about confidence. He's got strength. I can't understand how he did this, but he would work out before and after. And his workouts are not light. He would work out before and after tournaments, and being able to play golf when you're all swolled up, that's, I don't see how he could do that. But fire, grit, hunger, focus, concentration, intensity, a teammate, a supporter of others, and he's humble. He doesn't boast or brag. He just let his golf do the talking for him. He's inspirational by being awarded the most inspirational of teammates in 2010. Consistent player, owning 3 of the top 10 rounds in school history, including a pair of 68s, which ranks 3 of all time. Reliable. You could always rely on Justin to play well. He owned the team's lowest scoring average in 3 years straight. He's accomplished. In 2009, set the 2-round tournament record with a 500-369 at the Concordia Invite. And it's always sweet to whip on Concordia. I still got that fire. Just getting, always had a target on their back. You know, that's, yeah, anyway. Performance of excellence, 3-time All-CC selection, 6-time CCC Player of the Week, named NCU's Male Athlete of the Year as a junior in 2009, and in 2010, his senior year, became the winner of the Sports Information Legacy Award. And more importantly, this man is smart. Look at who he married. Right, Cassie? Yep. Personally, Justin, lastly, he's not a huge fan on sharing personal successes. But I wanted to share more about Justin and his new passion that he has, and that's for his CrossFit competition. This has been extremely fulfilling for him and a true passion. He has, in his CrossFit now career, He's assisted in opening 2 CrossFit facilities in Dubai, where he also competed in the global level. He qualified in the top 300 as an individual out of, get this, 500,000 people competing worldwide, top 10 in his region. He completed in regional levels 3 times at Seoul, South Korea, Copenhagen, Denmark, and Madrid, Spain, where he finished ranked in the top 64 worldwide, which is the top 8 of each of those regional competitions, just missing out of the qualifying for the World Games by a few points. Justin says this: I compete because the Lord has blessed me with the talents and disciplines to do so, but coaching is my true passion. I thoroughly love being a part of people's lives and helping them strive to reach their goals for their everyday life, and enjoy helping people move better and more efficiently. On a side note, I heard this when I was talking with him, so I said, Justin, what do you say, what do you think I should do to improve my health? Because I'm kind of starting to work on that. He says, it's all a matter of what you eat. Now, you mean you can't have any donuts anymore? Those are my favorite, and total weakness is awful. And he says, no donuts. You have no idea how painful that is. There's lucky no donuts are over there. So I said, thanks, Coach. So now we've got a reversal in our roles. So in closing, players come and go when you're a coach. They always remain in your heart, always remain a valuable and important part of your life. You establish a bond that is truly special, that lasts a lifetime. I have loved watching Justin's life through Facebook and Instagram with occasional texts or comments on those and watching how well he's doing. There is no finish line in the life of a coach, and for that I am grateful and blessed. I am blessed to have been Justin's coach and sharing in this special time here today. So may God continue to bless you, Justin, and you, Cassie. Congratulations.
Okay. Golf in the Hall of Fame. Who would have thought? I've been made fun of that for quite some time, and I didn't think it would actually happen. But as you heard, there's a lot of now second place and third place records with Mr. Falk, who's now head coach of the program. So it sounds like there'll be another golfer going into the Hall of Fame at some point, and rightfully so. I'd like to thank Corey, first of all. Corey and I sat down very early on in the program when it started, and a lot of memories go back to that, and I've never had the chance to actually apologize to Corey for the countless meetings that we had to sit down in his office, and I had to speak on behalf of the golf team for watching the basketball team receive beanies for warmth, although they played an indoor sport and the golf team was not getting any of them, and trying to speak on their behalf. But no, thanks for putting up with me during all of that, and yeah. But my parents are here as well, and thanks to them for their constant support. And as I grew through golf and pursued it as a sport, and was encouraged in high school to pick one sport and stick with it to hopefully help pay for college, and it did. And thanks to my grandparents, who probably are the reason why I chose to pursue golf and taught me everything that I know in the game, and was told very early on that, sure, you're probably better at baseball than you are at golf. You might be better at basketball than you are at golf, but golf's a sport you can play for the rest of your life. And my grandpa would tell me that you'll be very thankful that you have that in your pocket to play as a businessman someday. And golf is where the money is, as he always said. And still waiting for the money. But although my wife reminds me on a regular basis that I should have stuck with golf for the money. And for Cassie, my wife, my bride, and I mean, pretty cool to be inducted into the Hall of Fame with your significant other, and at the same time, and we're hoping to pass those genes of athletics and create some athletic babies. But we're still to come. Hopefully that will bring the money. But NCU, I'd like to just highlight mainly on the term student athlete. It gave me an opportunity as I walked on to the University of Oregon my freshman year in college and ended up getting injured my freshman season there. Had the option of walking back on again and or pursuing NCU, and there was a new program at the time, and I was also reminded by my grandpa through that phase that there's no draft in golf, unlike basketball and football and baseball, and so it really didn't matter where I played as long as I was playing and remaining the chance to play. And so super thankful for NCU and for Corey for bringing golf on as a program and recognizing it as a sport and giving me the chance to continue to be a student athlete and in my hometown, growing up and playing at Sheldon as well. And so it gave me that opportunity, and more importantly, gave me a place that was more hands-on for elementary education, which is what I graduated with my degree in. And the program that is here in elementary ed is far better than I could have asked for, and gave me a very hands-on opportunity to become more and more confident as a teacher and to work with kids and now a coach into helping hopefully change people's lives for the better. But more importantly, extremely thankful for NCU for giving me that opportunity as a student athlete more than anything, and also the chance to meet my bride here and live a happy life together in that. But thank you very much for the induction and the honor, and congratulations to everyone else that is inducted as well. But thank you very much.
Justin, I didn't come through with that beanie, so I got you a jacket instead. Cassie played 4 years on both the NCU volleyball and softball teams and excelled in both sports. As a volleyball player, she lands in the top 10 in 5 categories. She ranks 6th all-time for kills and digs. She earned the Coach's Award as a sophomore and the Most Inspirational Award as a senior. Ahrens had one of the most prolific softball careers in NCU history and is still regarded as one of the best to ever put on the Beacon uniform. Beginning with a Most Valuable Newcomer Award from her teammates as a freshman, she went on to be named the team's Silver Slugger twice and was the team MVP as a senior. She was a 3-time All-CC selection, included first-team honors as a sophomore and senior. When her career ended, she owned 2 single-game, 5 single-season, and 7 career records. She still holds the best single-game marks for runs, doubles, and her 14 multiple-hit games in 2008 continue to be the most in school history. Ahrens still holds NCU records for runs, extra base hits, total bases, plate appearances, and walks. And she is second all-time for home runs and runs batted in. She had 14 home runs at James Park, which is tied for the most ever. Her 4 combined All-Cascade Collegiate Conference honors between volleyball and softball are tied for the 5th most in NCU history. And she was named the NCU Female Athlete of the Year in 2010. And in 2011, she was honored as a Sports Information Legacy Award winner. At this time, I would like to invite NCU Athletic Hall of Fame inductee Cassie Bishop-Ahrens and presenter Jason Dickover, although I'm sure Dale Wygant will find his way to the microphone at this time.
Please do. Okay. I can't compete with Dale, so I hope he holds off for a little bit. That was amazing, Coach. I am very honored to be here, by the way, for Cassie. I don't know exactly why I am. I was only her high school basketball coach, the sport she chose not to play in college, and only for 1 year. But Cassie and I's relationship dates back a lot farther than that. I've known her parents, John and Debbie, for many, many years. I even coached her brother. Small school, small town. So we've all kind of grown up together, and I've really enjoyed watching Cassie now. I think maybe if I'd have come to NCU to watch her play basketball, I might have got lost in the sport, wanted to keep track of things, who should be doing this right, who should be doing that. So I got to come watch her play volleyball on some really amazing teams. I got to see Brooke play for a year. That was really fun. I still remember you. And I got to come watch her play softball, where she's absolutely amazing. And I got to just sit back and enjoy Cassie Jo Bishop in a role that she just really flourishes in. So I appreciate those times. Now, I'm batting cleanup tonight, and usually I like that position, but all the other coaches have done such a good job that I'm a little intimidated. I'm just a middle school social studies teacher. So on my daily routine, I have to keep things simple. So I only have one vocabulary word today for Cassie. Before I get to that, though, I got to mention Alicia over here. Everybody's telling stories, and I have the unique role of, as a high school teacher, I could probably tell some more embarrassing stories because they're high school related. Alicia kind of challenged me to bring up Cassie's boyfriends from high school as part of the speech. It was probably her biggest fear. Yeah, Cassie has called me her life coach before, and I think most of the counseling I gave her were with regards to certain boys. She found her way around to Justin in the end, so it all worked out. My word for Cassie is indispensable. Indispensable. And Corey went over her career accomplishments, especially for softball. Leader in home runs and RBIs, or second in slugging percentage. Baseball's such a statistic sport, softball as well. All of these are just huge. Fourth all-time in hits. Now, I looked that up, Cassie. If you had 5 more hits, just 5 more hits, you'd be number 1. 5 hits over 4 seasons. Dang it. These are absolutely amazing statistics, but in essence, that's all they really are. They are statistics. They don't tell the true story. Athletics is about more than science and stats. It's about beauty and grace. And Cassie is certainly all of that. I got to watch Cassie hit in the leadoff position. I got to watch her hit in the power positions in the middle of the order. I watched her hit home runs, and I watched her steal bases. I watched her gobble up grounders playing shortstop. And I watched her roam the gaps around center field with grace, taking extra base hits away from her opponents. She was indispensable for that team. And I recognize that as an ignorant basketball coach. If you take Cassie away from the Beacons, they just simply weren't the same without her. Much the same in high school. This is where I got to know Cassie as a freshman. Little freshman. She joined my leadership class, and she was a student body officer and member of my leadership class for 4 years. In high school, she was just as indispensable. She collected 14 varsity letters during her high school career. Now to explain that means you have to letter varsity in volleyball all 4 years, and in basketball all 4 years, and in softball all 4 years, and throw in a couple track ones just for good measure. And if we hadn't hired a new track coach with a momentary lapse of sanity who forbade the girls from playing both softball and track, she would have had even more letters as well. She was truly indispensable to all those sports teams, but as I've recognized today, you guys, college coaches and professors talking about these student athletes here and how lucky you are with the champions of character. These people are all champions of character, and Cassie was the same. As a member of my leadership class and National Honor Society, all the different roles she played for our small school, she was putting on countless dances and assemblies and homecomings. She was always involved with that. In fact, she taught the whole school how to do the cha-cha slide, including me. Yes, but at every assembly, the whole school would get down and do the cha-cha slide. Sometimes we just cancel the assembly and do the cha-cha slide. In fact, Cassie, you don't know this, but 2 years ago at a middle school dance, I got out and did the cha-cha slide with all of the 8th graders. Thank you for that. I never would have had the, no. She was indispensable for Douglas High School. Take Cassie, Joe Bishop out of Douglas High School, and honestly, I don't even want to think about that. I don't want to think about what Douglas High School would have been without Cassie. I have many stories I could share with you, but one of the perks of being the last presenter is I don't have to apologize for being brief. We're all ready for that. Her graduation gift. I got all of my student body officers a graduation gift present for them. And Cassie was a little nervous about her life after high school. I believe she'd already decided she wanted to be an elementary teacher, following in her parents' footsteps, going into the teaching profession. And I definitely approved of that. As she was asking me for some advice, she wasn't sure about the college choices, if they were the correct ones. She's just a little nervous, as many kids are when they leave high school. I purchased a gift for her at graduation, and it's kind of funny that Kasey mentioned, the speaker that she was influenced by, talking about the 5 people who have influenced you recently, et cetera, because the gift I bought for Cassie was this book, The 5 People You Meet in Heaven. And I don't know if any of you have read this book. I had read it recently, and then upon her graduation, I thought, do you still have this book, by the way? I thought, this is the gift for Cassie. The gist of the book is this. When you die, you'll be greeted by 5 people in heaven who will explain your life to you through their eyes. In some way, you have influenced them. In some ways, you have crossed paths, and they remember you for something. And I remember writing on the inside of the cover for Cassie that she was going to be an elementary teacher, and she was going to be absolutely amazing, and that she was not going to have 5 people in heaven greet her. She was going to have thousands of people because of what she was choosing to do as a profession. Every little kid that comes into Cassie's classroom is going to look up to her for the rest of their life. They're going to remember her as being one of the most positive people they have ever come across for their whole life. And darn it, I hate it when I'm right. Look what happened. She has had already a great life with her husband traveling the world and teaching in foreign countries, and now back in Oregon teaching, which I know is part of her life goal as well. Cassie Jo Bishop, today you're being honored as a Hall of Fame college athlete, but in reality you are and always have been a Hall of Fame person. You are quite simply indispensable to so many of us who know and love you. Thank you very much for inviting me to be here for you today. Oh, no.
Corey asked me to come up for a Yeah. I won't take a lot of time, but Cassie, we were so blessed. I had a roster that, I told you about the roster in 2005, and then in 2006, we had a really good full roster. So when 2007 came around, this child shows up at our doorstep with Mom, and she was pretty soft-spoken, so she wouldn't talk. But Mom said, she's really a good player. You really should take a look at her. And I said, well, we've got a drop-in tonight. If you'd like to come, we'll put some of our players out there, and we'll see what you can do. And we went out there, and they warmed up, and they did all this stuff. And we did a hitting line, and they tossed the ball to the setter. The setter set it outside. The child jumped about that high and it whacked the ball straight down. And I look at Michelle, my assistant, and I said, we have to find a spot for this child on this team. Cassie is one of the nicest athletes in 23 years of coaching I've ever come across. My wife and I were in the car today, and there's a number of people that will stick in my mind forever. Brooke is one of them. Mercedes, who's not here right now, is another one. But this young lady is one of the nicest, most competitive, coolest athletes I've ever had the opportunity to coach. She's really an amazing. She was only a freshman the year that I was coaching her, but God, it was fun to have her on the team. She worked hard every single day and never frowned. I mean, well, I'll tell you what. We went to Evergreen State College. You ever been to Evergreen State College? That's the strangest place on the planet. I'm telling you right now, it's one weird place. And as we were leaving there, they have a gooey duck, which is their mascot. They have a suit for this guy, and he runs around in this thing, and it's really ugly. And Cassie was holding hands with Mercedes, and I think Tessa Greatwood, and they were holding hands. Is it time? Can we leave now? Can we go? Let's go back to the bus. That's the only time I've ever seen her really nervous or concerned like that. But Cassie was an incredible athlete for the volleyball program, and I got an opportunity to watch her play softball, and she is the real deal. She hit the ball extremely well, even though that sport is played in all kinds of different weather. And I told her that, that's why you like indoor sports, because it's always nice in our place. But she, again, like Brooke, she is incredibly worthy of being up on this Hall of Fame, and I'm really proud of Cassie.
Okay, I brought my tissue. I'm probably gonna cry. I'm a crier. It's okay. I really just want to take this opportunity just to thank so many people. You guys learned all about me or heard about me or were reminded about me tonight. So I just really want to thank those people, because I really wouldn't be the woman I am today without them, in my personal life and in my athletic career. I'm sorry. So I did ask Mr. D to speak on my behalf tonight, because he was my life coach and he got me through high school and everything that brought. And he was more than just my coach to me. Even though I had him for 1 year, I just looked up to him so much, and my biggest supporter, and I really appreciate you, so thank you so much. All my coaches were so amazing. I just want to thank Tim and Dale. Mike's not here, but they were just so supportive of me and just let me kind of be myself, my quirky little self, and just let me kind of be who I was and be the athlete that I always wanted to be. I just want to thank NCU for this opportunity to be here. I wouldn't have been able to be a student athlete if it wasn't for NCU, and I'm just really appreciative and humbled and honored to be a part of the NCU alumni. Not just as an athlete, but as a student. This university is just really amazing. It brings special people here, and just lets them explore what they want to be and who they are, and it all does that under God's roof, which is really awesome. I want to really thank my parents most of all. I can't tell you how much they mean to me, and both of them were my coaches growing up. My dad was my basketball coach, and Mom coached me in softball. Even though I didn't play basketball, even though he would say that basketball was my best sport, I did not pursue that. But both of them, just the countless hours that they drove to my games or hit me ground balls, or my dad, at the end of basketball, we had this nice little machine called the gun that you would shoot into it, and then it would shoot the ball back to you, but I did not have that for a while, and he was the gun for me for many, many years. And I wouldn't be where I am without their support in athletics, but just raising me to be the woman that I am, and I don't think I would have married Justin if I was not the woman that I am. So thank you both very much for all your support. I love you guys. Thank you to my husband. I can't tell you how special it is for me to be up here and accept this award with him, alongside him. And he's brought me all over the world and helped me pursue my dreams and helped me fulfill dreams that I didn't even know that I had. And so I just think it's really special that we're inducted together. My whole family, I think they're majority of the people here, which is Justin's family as well. But they're just so supportive of me and the decisions that I've made, and I just really appreciate every single one of you, all the games that you've been to, and you guys have supported me through everything, so thank you very much. I could tell you stories and things, but I'll keep those in my heart. But I just really wanted to thank those people that have had an influence on my life. Hi, Jared, and fixed me when I was broken. So that's what I really wanted to come up here and say. Just appreciate you all, and I'm really humbled and honored to accept this award. So thank you.
If I could have the 4 inductees come up with your jackets, that way we get a really cool, here, I'll take this from you. Yeah, get your jacket, put them on, and come on up, we'll get a really cool photo. Well, thank you so much for your attendance this afternoon. There's a lot of food over there, so I hope that you guys stay and just socialize, or it's a mini family reunion, whatever it may be. Eat food, please. There's a lot of it. Just, I'm always reminded of this event while this event is going on. This event is hard to put on. And again, I thank Sarah and Nick on that already. But to hear the words and to be reminded of the value of relationships and the value of these student athletes' experiences here that NCU provides for them, but obviously these are the best of the best. And not only does NCU provide these opportunities, they take advantage of them, and then they provide opportunities for others, whether it's teammates, their coaches, their professors, friends in the dorms, whatever it may be. And so I leave here today with this always being such a signature event in my heart, and I just thank the 4 of you. Again, it's been pretty awesome for us to be able to know all of our Hall of Fame inductees this year, and so that's just been very special. So with that, I say thank you. Everybody, please have a blessed rest of your Sunday. Have a great week, and thank you very much.